Welcome to the Board Business Channel. Today we're diving into something that probably affects maybe a quarter of the beds globally. The sound, that lovely sound of someone trying to, build a log cabin next to you while you sleep. We're talking snoring, but like serious snoring.
Oh, it's way beyond just annoying noise, though. I mean, yeah, for anyone who's lived through it, it's not just the little rumbles. It's some severe snores. You're talking lawnmower levels, maybe like 80 decibels. Seriously loud. But that noise, it's really just pointing to something much more serious. Obstructive sleep apnea, OSA.
Right, OSA. And that's where it shifts, isn't it? From just, elbowing your partner awake to actual danger. This isn't just about losing sleep or relationship strain. It's a huge health issue hiding in plain sight.
Exactly. The numbers are pretty stark. Estimates suggest around 26% of adults globally have OSA. 26%. And the consequences, if it's not treated, they're really significant. We're talking a much higher risk of serious cardiovascular problems, think hypertension, stroke, even heart failure down the line. Your mortality risk can go up by like 3 to 6 times. It's serious stuff.
Wow. 3 to 6 times. So you've got this massive, potentially life-threatening condition. And the person might not even know they have it, right, until maybe their partner finally records them. That must create a huge market for solutions, right?
Oh, absolutely. Because the health risks are so severe, there's a very large global market for medical devices to treat it. It's estimated at somewhere around $5 to $6 billion a year. So huge problem. But the thing is, the main solution available for a long time, well, it kind of created its own set of problems.
Okay, and that leads us nicely to the company we're looking at today, Somnics Medical Device Co., Ltd., and its founder and CEO, Dr. Zhongju Chen. What's really interesting here, you mentioned personal problems. His drives came from his own experience with this.
Yes, exactly. Like a lot of breakthroughs in medicine, really. It came from deep personal frustration. Dr. Chen is actually an OSA patient himself, so he knew intimately all the downsides of the standard treatment.
Okay, let's talk about that standard treatment then, the big player he was trying to improve on. For ages, the go-to has been the CPAP machine. What does CPAP actually stand for?
CPAP is continuous positive airway pressure, and it's pretty much what it sounds like. It's a machine that constantly blows air, positive pressure, down your airway. The goal is to basically prop open the tissues, the tongue, the soft palate, keep them from collapsing and blocking your breathing while you sleep.
Okay, sounds logical. Forced air, keeping the pipes open. But I sense a but coming. You mentioned problems. People were getting this potentially life-saving treatment and then stopping. Why? That seems to be the key opportunity Somnics saw.
That's absolutely it. Non-compliance, people stopping treatment, that's the Achilles heel of CPAP. It works physiologically, but people often just can't stick with it. Think about it. You have to wear this bulky mask strapped to your face all night. It's often uncomfortable. It can feel restrictive, leave marks. Then there's the machine itself, usually pretty big, kind of noisy, definitely not easy to travel with, needs power all the time. And they weren't cheap either. Older ones could be, NT $40,000, NT $50,000. It basically turns sleeping into this whole medical procedure.
So people were literally choosing the risk of stroke or heart issues over fighting with this machine every night. That says a lot about how bad the experience must have been.
It really does. And Dr. Chen, remember, he was living this. He was actually an assistant professor back then at National Tsinghua University. His specialty, fluid dynamics. His journey with this idea started earlier, though. Some initial concept work back at ITRI, maybe 2006 to 2008.
Fluid dynamics.
Yeah.
Interesting. But the big jump wasn't just tinkering, right? There was this Stanford connection.
Yeah. That seems crucial. In 2009, he did the Stanford Taiwan Biomedical Fellowship Program, STB. That experience, being in that Silicon Valley environment, seems to have really focused him on, the commercial potential, taking it beyond the lab.
Okay, so he comes back, sees the path forward.
Right, and he makes a huge decision. In 2010, he actually resigned his assistant professorship. Think about that, leaving a stable academic career. He founded Somnics. He basically bet his entire future on the idea that his personal struggle held the key to a totally new solution.
That takes guts, serious conviction. Okay, so let's get into this radical solution. CPAP uses positive pressure, blowing air in. How does the Somnics product, the INT, work differently? What's the physics?
This is where his fluid dynamics background really shines. The iNAP technology is totally different. It uses globally exclusive negative pressure. So instead of forcing air in, it creates a gentle, controlled suction inside your mouth.
Okay. So not blowing, but pulling gently.
Exactly. It uses a special oral interface, not a mask that covers your nose or face, just something that fits comfortably in the mouth. This negative pressure then gently pulls the tongue forward, lifts the soft palate. It repositions things physiologically, the airway opens up naturally, and the patient can just breathe normally through their nose with their mouth closed.
That sounds elegantly simple, almost. Why didn't the big guys, the established CPAP makers like Philips or ResMed, come up with this? They dominate the market, right?
It's probably a mix of things. When your entire multi-billion-dollar business is built around positive pressure, the machines, the masks, the research, it's incredibly hard to pivot to the complete opposite, like conceptual inertia, maybe? Dr. Chen, starting from scratch, didn't have that baggage. He saw the opening.
And it's not just a simple suction cup, right? This is a proper medical device. What are the main parts?
Oh, yeah. It's a regulated medical system. You've got the oral interface piece we mentioned. Then there's a main unit, the brains, which is actually micro-size. There's also a little reservoir to manage saliva, which is important for comfort and function. And there are specific consumables involved, too. The source mentioned things like NPR02, NPR03Y, NPR07. So it's a sophisticated, controlled system that's key for regulatory approval.
Okay, but the micro-size part sounds like a huge win for the patient compared to the traditional CPAP machine.
It's absolutely transformative for usability. The iNAP unit itself weighs only about 200 grams. 200 grams, you could genuinely put it in your pocket. That immediately tackles the whole issue of bulkiness, travel, portability.
And power. The CPAP needed constant plugging in.
Another huge difference, the iNAP is battery operated. And get this, it can run for like 5 to 7 days on a single charge. That directly supports their whole idea, sleep well wherever you are.
Yeah.
That freedom, that independence, that's what makes someone actually use the therapy long term, which is the entire point, right? Getting people to stick with it.
Well, this isn't just a theoretical thing. They've got the stance of approval, CE mark in Europe back in 2016.
And the really big one, FDA 510K clearance in the U.S. in January 2018. That's crucial for market access there. Plus, they're approved and selling in several Asian countries, Taiwan, naturally, but also Thailand, South Korea. And they've got distribution deals in places like Switzerland, Australia, Greece, too.
So the tech works. Regulators globally are saying it's safe and effective. But getting there must have cost a fortune. MedTech is notoriously expensive, especially for something breaking new ground.
Yeah.
How did Dr. Chen pull off the funding?
Yeah, that early stage is always tough for medtech. His initial commitment was, well, intense. Couldn't get institutional money right away.
Yeah.
So he actually mortgaged his house and raised about $27 million from friends and family just to get Somnics off the ground. Talk about personal risk. Skin in the game.
Wow. Betting the house, literally.
But that level of commitment likely helped. They did secure a government grant around $24.5 million, which is significant, and then an initial large investment of $50 million came in. But the real signal, the big strategic validation, was the next major funding round.
That was the one that brought in roughly $127 million.
Correct. And crucially, a big chunk of that came from UMC Capital. They're part of the YFY Group, a major strategic investor. Getting that kind of backing isn't just about the cash. It's a huge vote of confidence in the technology, the team, and the potential for manufacturing and scaling this up.
Okay, so they've got the innovative tech, the regulatory green lights, serious financial backing. But how do they actually sell it? What's the game plan, especially against those huge CPAP companies? You mentioned they weren't just chasing volume initially.
Right. Their strategy, especially since around 2015, has been focused heavily on market education. Because this negative pressure approach is fundamentally new for treating OSA, they can't just assume doctors and patients will immediately jump on board. They have to build trust. They need to really demonstrate the long-term safety, the effectiveness, prove it works just as well or better than the CPAP standard everyone knows.
So prove the science in the real world first. Build that clinical confidence before trying to take on the Goliaths like Philips and ResMed, who own, what, like 80% of the CPAP space?
Precisely. Build the foundation. And it hasn't all been smooth sailing either. They were listed on Taiwan's emerging stock board for a while, starting in 2017, but they actually chose to delist in early 2022. So navigating that, plus the whole pandemic disruption, it shows they've had to be pretty resilient.
Okay, delisting can happen for various reasons, but now, looking forward, they seem to be making a strategic push, especially into the U.S. market. How are they approaching that huge competitive space?
This part seems pretty smart. They're specifically targeting distribution through the Veterans Affairs, the VA hospital system in the U.S. Think about the VA patient population. It's large, stable, and the VA system itself really values things like long-term patient adherence and positive health outcomes. For a device like iNAP, where the big selling point is improved comfort leading to better compliance, the VA could be an ideal entry point. It might let them sidestep some of the noisy marketing battles in the broader commercial market, initially at least.
Secure a foothold with a large, influential customer base that directly values the core benefits sticking with the treatment rather than getting into a price war or advertising blitz against the giants right away.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense for a category-defining product.
Exactly. It lets them focus resources where the core advantages, comfort, portability, ease of use, will likely be most appreciated and rewarded.
So, bringing it all together, the real impact here, the core success of Somnics and iNAP, it all circles back to solving that one big nagging problem with OSA treatment, doesn't it?
It really is all about compliance. Full stop. CPAP works if you use it, but many don't. By making iNAP tiny, super portable, battery-powered for days, and fundamentally more comfortable without a mask, Somnics tackled the main reasons people give up on treatment. If patients use the device consistently, then the OSA gets treated effectively. And those scary long-term risks, the stroke, the hypertension, the heart failure, they get reduced. That's the endgame Dr. Chen engineered.
It's a fantastic story. Innovation born from personal need, powered by some clever physics, and driven by a focus on the actual user experience. Okay, before we wrap up, here's something to chew on. You've got this massive CPAP market dominated by two giants, basically selling variations of uncomfortable, older tech. How fast can a genuinely comfortable, truly portable alternative like iNAP start to really shake things up and redefine that whole category before, the big players finally wake up and scramble to catch up with their own negative pressure tech? That feels like the next big race.
Definitely. The next few years in the sleep apnea space could get very interesting.
And on that note, a special shout out to my friend Steve, the executive director of the Arizona Taiwan office. He was the one who suggested we take a look at Somnics.
The Board Business channel. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications.